Hi, everyone. Thanks very much to my co-panelists. And, you know, if the senior economist with the CCPA is honored to be on this distinguished panel, you got to imagine how I feel. So it's wonderful to be here tonight. Thank you to the organizers and to the audience on cheap movie night. To fill a room is wonderful. I'm doing my own introduction tonight, which is pretty cool. So the next speaker is a really great guy. I think you'll really like him. I'm a lawyer with the Pivot Legal Society. I work in the downtown east side of Vancouver. My primary portfolio is housing. I do a little bit of work on policing issues in that community. And I'm here tonight to speak to you about, usually I'm mostly focused on the city because they're the closest at hand, but the province and their role in sort of frustrating, I think, the visions of what people would like to see happening with respect to affordable housing in the province. I'd like to start with it's a case study, and I don't want to name the city because I want to protect the innocent. So we'll call it Sam Cooper. And, you know, it's a city with a lot of challenges. It's a very prosperous city. It's doing very well. A lot of people making a lot of money in real estate and their jobs. But it's a city experiencing a real divide between the rich and the poor. And it's a city that is going to see homelessness triple by 2010, which is the year that they have a major event coming to town when they're expecting a lot of international visitors. I won't name the event because it may give it away. But it's a city where savings in income tax cuts at the provincial level are quickly spent on increased policing costs at the local level to deal with homelessness and mental health and addiction issues that would probably be better dealt with in another way. And it's a city where private security and in all of its forms, whether guards or alarm systems, are major expenses for both business and for private residents in the city. But it's a city where the majority of people, I think, have a vision of a different kind of city, and that's a city where there's a mix of incomes, where the children of rich people and poor people play together at the same playgrounds, they go to the same schools, you know, they live in the same neighborhoods and maybe even in the same buildings. It's a city with a vision of no homelessness. It's a city that's tired of the heartache of seeing people sleeping on the streets in the midst of such prosperity. And so what is it that will get Sam Coover from where it is right now to where it wants to be? And I'm just going to totally leave aside the municipal part and what I think should be happening at the municipal level and focus entirely almost entirely on what role the province could play in making that happen. So municipally, I think, you know, you need a plan, you need to meet with the community, meet with the developers, meet with everybody, you know, and have a talk about, seriously, what kind of a city do we want to have and how are we going to make it happen? And so you come up with a plan, and you come up with actually a plan for, the downtown west side. You come up with a plan for the very poorest neighborhood about how it's going to develop and what you want to see there and what kind of a neighborhood it's going to be. And once you have this plan in place, what you need really is a dedicated stream of funding, and not one-off funding and not project funding, but actual regular funding that's predictable and that you can use and leverage in different ways to make your vision a reality. And so if the citizens of Sam Cooper want to realize this dream, and they want to make it happen, they are located in British Columbia. And this is a province where there was a $4 billion surplus in 2006, more than $4 billion. And there are some incredible opportunities for the province to come up with a plan and a regular, predictable funding plan for the city so that they can realize their dream of eliminating homelessness and leveraging that funding by coming up with deals with developers or by using the city itself as a developer and creating the kind of communities that it wants. And so if the province has this amazing opportunity, what is the reality for Sam Coover right now in British Columbia? What is the reality in terms of how the province is funding its response to homelessness, whatever it may be? And this is not, this is, in Sam Coover, the province decided that it was going to buy 10 SROs. And this is, you know, I don't want to criticize the fact that the province wanted to do this. It's, you know, it's not the purchase. It's something that had to happen. We had to protect the rental housing stock. It's the process that was involved in it. So BC Housing, at the end of the year, had some money left over. And I said, well, how are we going to spend this money? And I said, well, let's buy some SROs. They went out and they bought 10 SROs. They didn't go to anybody in the community. They didn't go to anybody at the municipal level. They just decided we're going to buy these 10 SROs. So what did they buy? Did they buy the worst SROs that were most at risk of closing, the ones that were managed very poorly, to bring them up to code and make sure that we kept them in the rental housing stock? No. The majority of the SROs that they bought were those in the best condition, those that were operating as rental housing, not ones that were closed. They bought the best managed SROs and the ones that would require the least amount of investment from the province to bring up to speed.